Welcome back to Simplify Your Business. David Wolf here with Melanie Rembrandt. Hope you're doing well. Melanie, hi.
Hi, David. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well. It's morning here. We're in podcast land for you and I. Early morning for you. She's Pacific, and I'm not so specific. I'm Mountain Time. So anyway, this is the podcast, in case you've just stumbled upon us, where we really understand that humans need to simplify their lives and their businesses, and we're giving thanks to the deep dive that Melanie has done on so much of this subject matter, exploring how to simplify those things you need to do in your business to be successful.
Exactly. And we've both been through the trenches. We know how overwhelmed it can be to be an entrepreneur. And we know that you just, hey, what are the tips I need? Boom. Then you can go on with the rest of your day.
Yeah. So we're providing the boom here. So today we're going to talk about, this is a subject dear to your heart. We've talked about it in other iterations of us doing podcasts together in many ways. What is the best way to get publicity? Publicity for you, your persona, your business. And it starts with research.
Yes, there is so much to public relations, and people just think, oh, I'll write a press release, send it out. All these media members are going to call me. I'm going to be famous. It's going to be great. And guess what? That's not how it works. First of all, you do the research. You want to figure out what media members might be interested in what you have to say. And you make a list specifically of media members, not the publication or, the television show, what have you. It takes a lot of research, and you figure out exactly who you want to pursue. So
it's where your audience hangs out, kind of like the online thing. But this applies to offline and online, right? In terms of the
Correct.
PR piece? Okay.
Exactly. It's, you might have a print newspaper or your local print newspaper or a magazine you want to go after, and that's in the print world.
There's something else that's come up in our previous conversations about PR, and that it needs to be newsworthy, doesn't it? I mean, in other words, this can't just be in a release that talks about me. You talked about the me website, or I can't remember the expression.
The we site.
The we site. We did this and we did that, and aren't we great? And we just released this new thing, and hey, come and check us out. And it's all about talk a little bit about the power of these need to be newsworthy, or at least stories that are going to compel whoever's controlling that PR channel, right?
Well, that's just the thing. Personally, I use a press release as a fact checker for reporters. I check with my client to make sure everything is correct on there. And what happens is, media members usually look at it and they use the data off of that press release. However, guess what? The real media mentions that you get when you see people on the cover of big magazines is from someone like me, or you as a small business owner, calling up the specific media members that we mentioned in research. You're going to find out, you know everything about that reporter. And then the thing about it is, what is that reporter going to think about this that is important? I mean, you have to develop a specific story for that particular reporter. And it can't be, we do this, we do that. We're so excited that we hired this person. They just don't care. So a lot of PR, the background you don't see takes a lot of time and effort. And that's where you're researching, developing content that is important to each targeted media member. Just because you distribute a press release, I mean, your press release might be great. It might generate some press, but you're really going to get the stories from developing a specific story for a specific targeted media member.
And I guess when you work with different clients around all of this, there's some customization that needs to happen, because you're thinking about, let me ask the open question. Do you need to change the, quote, voice of the release? And talk a little bit about how that works.
I follow the typical AP style press release, but a lot of times they can be very casual and story written. A lot of other countries outside of the U.S., they will print your press release as is. I've had this happen. I thought, wow, that would be great. That'd be so easy. But it just depends on where you are. I mean, I would look at the templates out there. I would go to places like PR Newswire, because a lot of professional press releases are out there, and you can just look at it and see how it's written. I mean,
that's a great idea.
Art. Yeah, it's a whole art. But if you're just starting out and you don't have the money to hire a publicist, look at a professional release to see how it's done. Okay. And then, so once you've written your release, the next thing you want to do, let's say you have your storyline together. You're going to call each media member directly, and you're going to, quote unquote, pitch your story, what they're interested. Hi, I'm Bob. I own the local rug store, and we're having this huge sale, but did you know that we're also working with this local charity? I mean,
that's a great example of not making it all about we.
Yeah, they reporters love to hear from small business owners over publicists because they're a little more real. But in a nutshell,
I was going to ask you that question, Melanie. So
yeah.
it's cool to, as a small business owner in whatever, your local ecosystem of businesses, it's cool and it's okay and acceptable to pitch yourself.
Oh, definitely. And you can also introduce yourself as a resource if you're an expert in a particular area and just say, hey, Bob, I am an expert in these designer luxury European rugs. If you ever have a story or you need information about this, please call me. They love that. You're basically setting up a relationship.
Well, right. And you talk about opinion pieces. I mean, you may be setting yourself up to be one of those sort of opinion givers.
Exactly. And over time, out of the blue, you might just get a call from someone and say, hey, I'm writing a story about this. I need your expert opinion. And that's how it works. So, it's not, the press release is part of it, but don't expect a lot just from distributing a press release. You're better off calling a specific media member and giving them your story. And remember, it has to provide value to them. It can't be all about you.
All right, so the one-on-one thing is really important in terms of getting these out, and not just click a button and then go away and hope they respond. You need to engage with the whoever at that news service or whatever the media outlet may be, right?
Exactly. And this is time consuming. I will say that. But let's say you get one big story. It could mean thousands of dollars in sales for your company. And also, you can't purchase the third party credibility from publicity. Mm-hmm. In advertising, you pay for it. In publicity, you get that credibility. You don't have to pay for it.
Well, that's huge. And it should be highlighted here. This is someone else talking about you in effect, or the story talking about you, as opposed to you just paying to be on a spot or on a billboard or in a newspaper ad or on someone's website or mobile app or whatever. I mean, this is it's not, the focus isn't so much on you just wanting to get customers. There's usually a story or a context that's bigger and more important to the audience. Did I say that in a good way?
You did. And, press releases are important. They get the information out there. And, if you do want media coverage, though, it comes down to contacting the media. So in a quick tip way to kind of get the whole PR process organized, do your research, figure out who you want to contact, figure out the story you're going to give each particular media member that you cover, and then call them and see what happens. That's the best way to get publicity.
Thanks, Melanie. I love your recaps on each of these podcasts. If you're liking what you're hearing, please reach out to us, podcastingradio.com. You can also reach out to RembrandtWrites.com. You can find Melanie there as well. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Simplify Your Business.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.